Hello and welcome back. In the previous video, we added ammo to our weapon class and the ability to decrement that ammo when we fire the weapon. Now we'd like to reflect that in our widget called ammo count BP. So we need to bind this weapon ammo text. Now we're going to want a reference to the character on this widget. So here in the graph section, we're going to add a new variable, and this will be called shooter character. Now shooter character needs to be of type shooter character BP. So let's change the type to shooter character and make sure you have the BP version, that's the blueprint, and we're going to make this an object reference. Now here in the event graph, we can set this shooter character variable. So drag out and click set shooter character. And what we can do is we can right click and use a get player pawn node. This will get a reference to the player, and that's going to be as a pawn object reference. So we need to drag off of this and cast to shooter character BP. Now once we've cast it, then we can set the shooter character reference and use as shooter character BP, that output pin for our shooter character. So as soon as event construct is called, which is kind of like event begin play, but for widget blueprints, now we'll have this shooter character reference. Now that we have this, back in the designer, we can take this weapon ammo text and bind it. Now, if we come over here to the text property in the details panel, there's a bind dropdown. And if you click create binding, well, that will create a function, and in that function, we could then check to see if our shooter character is valid and then get the equipped weapon and get the ammo from that. And that's a whole bunch of work. But instead, we can see down here where it says properties, and it shows our variable shooter character. And if we hover over that, it shows all of the properties on shooter character that are exposed to blueprints. And here we have our equipped weapon. And on equipped weapon, here is the int32 called ammo. If we select that, now our text is bound to the shooter character's equipped weapon ammo property. Let's go ahead and compile and save this. And if we go ahead and hit play, now we'll see that we have 0, and that's because our ammo has a default value of 0 on our base weapon. We can change that. Let's go into our base weapon class in underscore game weapons base weapon. Open the base weapon blueprint, and here is our weapon properties, and here is ammo. Let's give this a value of, say, 100 and compile that. Now if we click play, we'll see that we have 100, and it might be hard to see, so I'm going to click play from within base weapon BP so we get this standalone window. And you'll see that it says 100. Now if I go ahead and shoot, now it says 99 because this is now bound to that ammo property in the weapon class, which is decremented thanks to our function call to decrement ammo, which we placed in all the places where we fire the weapon. So now that's reflecting our ammo count. Okay, so that is how we bind our ammo count to a variable in C++. It's pretty easy from within the ammo count widget blueprint because we can simply choose one of our variables and bind the property to this text. We just need to make sure that we've set our shooter character reference in the event graph here in event construct, so that way it actually has a reference to our character. So that will conclude this video, so stay tuned.